Hi, this is Ted. Today I'm going to be talking about generational curses. Are they biblical? Is it biblical to say there are generational curses? Curses that pass on from generation to generation. As you will see, Paula White talks about generational curses and how they affect us.
You might be going through a struggle. You might be going through a battle. That battle is going to be broken. You're dealing with some devils. Maybe not that you even opened the door to, but they've been passed down your bloodline, just like when you go to the medical doctor. There is a spiritual line that the enemy knows often how to access, and we're going to deal with that tonight. But it has been overturned, and there's some steps that you can enforce tonight.
Here's the story. The law of Moses talks about visiting iniquity upon children's children to 4 generations. That's it. The charismatic leaders like to talk a lot about the law of Moses, at least grab the curses of the law of Moses, and they grab the blessings of the law of Moses, not aware that Jesus redeemed us from the curse of the law being a curse for us, because it is written, "Cursed is anyone who hangs on a tree." And so Jesus became the curse, and when he died, he was crucified, and for us, we were crucified with him, and we were crucified to sin, to the powers of this world, and also to the law of Moses and its consequences. That is unfortunately missed in the charismatic teaching. 6th century BC proverb: "The fathers have eaten sour grapes, and the children's teeth are set on edge." Terrible things were happening in Israel during the 6th century BC. They were ceasing to be a nation. They were being dragged off to Babylon. They were being raped, killed, and pillaged. They were being they were going through some really tough times. All right, and they were blaming their forefathers. Our forefathers sinned, and we are bearing the responsibility. And Ezekiel says that is not true. The soul that sins shall die. He says the sons shall not be the son. He says, got to get this right, the son shall not suffer for the iniquity of the father. And he talks actually the whole chapter of Ezekiel, chapter 18, the whole chapter is dealing with this. And Ezekiel dealing with this group of people who are blaming their fathers for the sins that they have to pay for. There is, in a very real way, a lack of responsibility. There is a letting go of what is me. I did it. I'm guilty.
Dealing with some devils, maybe not that you even opened the door to, but they've been passed down your bloodline, just like when you go to the medical doctor.
I'm not going to blame my father for my sins. I'm not going to blame my grandfather for my sins. There might be patterns that I saw in them that I repeat, but it's still my sins, and I have to deal with it accordingly, not blaming them for things that I did. Now, there's a lot of times, I think what happens is we get out of touch with who we really are, and we see that there's times that we want to disassociate ourselves from some of the problems that we are dealing with. In other words, it's not me, it's, by the way, okay, so you get these people, I've heard this. Somebody does something terrible, and they say, well, that's not me. Oh, who did it then? What they're trying to say is that's not who I usually am. But you did it. Admit it. Deal with it. Other times people will say things like, oh, I was drunk, as if that's an excuse. Other people, I talked to one girl who was in an affair. She just had an affair. And she came to me for counseling. Her and her husband both did. And the very first thing she said, I don't know what happened. Well, she was the spiritual one in that family. So I know what happened. She was disassociated with this part of her. She really believed herself to be spiritually above having an affair. That just isn't me. See, when we do that, we really set ourselves up for problems. All right. There is a parable that Jesus talked about in Luke chapter 18. And Luke chapter 18, Jesus says that there's this Pharisee and there's a tax collector. Tax collectors were hated people. They were kind of scum of the earth. And this tax collector and Pharisee, both of them go into the temple and pray. And the Pharisee, who is a very godly man, he says, God, thank you that I'm not like that man over there. I give, I tithe, I do all these things for you. And he's so thankful. And the tax collector, the loathed man of the society, the scum of the earth, he cannot lift up his eyes before God. And he says, God, be merciful to me, the sinner. Not a sinner, the sinner. He's aware of who he is. And Jesus says, the Pharisee, it's not the Pharisee who went away justified, but the tax collector. That seems very unusual, but the tax collector knew who he was. He didn't hide behind some spiritual aura or some spiritual thinking that he was this person who does everything right. And it's just not like me. Once in a while I'll do something stupid. That's just not like me. Part of walking with God and walking with Christ and in faith is realizing that you are the sinner. And when you can admit that, when you can see those things that you once in a while fail in, is a part of you, then we can learn about grace. And we can learn about acceptance, not only of yourself. I find that people have a hard time accepting themselves when they have these issues. And that's part of the way that they learn to accept themselves is by building up a protection against, that's not me, it is you. And when you can accept that, and when you can take it on, you can learn more about grace. And you can learn about growing, definitely. And you don't want to just say, oh, I'll always be that way. But you can learn about grace, and you can learn about faith. And this is Ted. Y'all have a good one. Bye. Oh, and in conclusion, I do want to say, before I say bye, I didn't say bye, but before goodbye, I just do want to say that a big part of what you're seeing when people talk about generational curses is they don't want to admit and take on complete responsibility. Yeah, it looks impressive. It seems impressive. You might say that, oh, I experienced this great release. But I guarantee you that great release didn't last long, did it? That's because there's something else going on besides being delivered from a generational curse. That's it. All right, you all have a good one. We'll see you. Bye.